Hi, my name is Leah Morris, and thank you for tuning in to hear about the song Man of Wood, the first release from my upcoming album, Ordinary Magic. So as promised, I'm going to share the story of how this song was actually written by a ghost. Not a ghost writer, but truly a ghost. So the deal is, about 10 years ago, I was working with a company called Kid Pen Alley. And what they do is go into mostly elementary schools and co-write songs with kids. Brilliant organization, check them out. On this occasion, however, it was summertime and we were working in a camp. And the kids were about 8 or 9 years old, so third grade. And we were in the AVAM, the American Visionary Arts Museum, which is this brilliant museum in Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm from, actually. And the intention of our camp week together was to walk through the AVAM and get inspired by some of the work. And when we say visionary art, most of the pieces are made out of things like bottle caps and toilet paper rolls, which would really move my daughter, Lucia. And there was this massive float. It was a parade float made out of, I think, toilet paper that had been somehow spray painted neon pink and formed into a poodle, a gigantic warehouse-filling poodle. The poodle was named Fifi. My aunt is lovingly termed Fifi. Strange side fact. So anyway, so I'm walking around with these kids and we're like taking mental notes, which of these pieces moves us the most. So we come out of the room with Fifi and into a space where there is, among other things, the Man of Wood. And the Man of Wood is a statue that's carved out of one trunk of an apple tree. There's hardly any facial features. It's clearly a human, clearly a man, but it's about 10 feet tall. The chest is sort of concave. It's like in, and then there's a hint of limbs. And it is just the most haunting, stirring, simple piece. And all the kids, we just stood there kind of in awe of it. And I got the feeling they were going to ask me if we could write a song about that. And I was like, okay, 8-year-olds, I don't know if you have the world experience to do this, but because the whole principle was that they write the songs and I just kind of help. I add chords and maybe a little structure tips. So they did not ask me to write a song about the Man of Wood. They pointed to a plaque next to it that explains that this is an anonymous piece. And that the person who carved it was suffering from tuberculosis, and that when they were done with the work, or when they couldn't take anymore, they took their own lives. And the kids looked at me and they asked, well, why? You know, why would someone do that? And always, when people ask me to speak for someone else, I don't even try. But specifically in this case, I just said, I don't know, guys, I really don't know. And we walked around some more in silence for a while, and then we found some other sort of whimsical pieces, and we wrote songs about them. And I think we also wrote one about Fifi. But on the way home from Baltimore to Silver Spring, where I was living at the time, should have been, without traffic, it would have been like a 35-minute drive. But it's never without traffic, so it's probably more like 2 hours. But in the course of that drive, the traffic was actually a blessing, because it made me go at a reduced pace, and it created this space of time before I got home to revisit the day, but specifically revisit the Man of Wood. And I didn't do so intentionally, and I certainly was not thinking, but I'll write the song. The song just came flowing out, almost like it still does feel to me like the person who carved that statue was answering the children's question of why. Yeah, so I'm gonna play it now. I made him out of wood, out of a single tree. pretty good. A simple man like me. And after my destruction, you'll ask yourself this question: how did this come to be? I used a carving knife, a whittle and a saw. I worked both day and night until my hands were raw and fingertips were bleeding. A little voice kept pleading, dear God, please finish me. I'll never be a man of wood or a man of steel, with a heart of stone, who'll never feel lost, hurt, or alone. His chest is caving in, like I can't really breathe. His body frail and thin, like I can't even eat. But he's more than a statue, he is my life's residue. He's all that's left of me. I'll never be a man of wood or a man of steel, with a heart of stone, who'll never feel lost, hurt, or alone. I'll never be a man of wood or a man of steel, with a heart of stone, who'll never feel any pain. I don't wanna feel any pain. No pain, no pain, no pain. I don't wanna feel any pain. No pain, no pain, no pain. I don't wanna feel any pain. No pain, no pain, no pain. I don't wanna feel any pain. I made him out of wood, out of a single tree. I think he's pretty good, a simple man like me. Yeah, so that's The Man of Wood, co-written, at least co-written by the spirit of the person who carved the statue. So here's the thing about Man of Wood. This is the first release from my forthcoming album, Ordinary Magic, which will be in the world fall of this year, 2024. So as I was dreaming up the album and getting excited about sharing this music, I started thinking about how I could do it in a way that was different. You know, I was like, stickers, t-shirts, just not feeling that. I wanted something that was unique and that felt true to me. And in the last few years, I've been doing a lot of community workshops, singing, community singing, choral arrangements, bringing people more into the music, interactive concerts. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to create an opportunity for people to immerse in this music, to have the world's first interactive album, so to speak. And if there's an album somewhere that's already doing that, I'd love to know, because I'd love to learn from what's already been done. But this was an idea that came to me in a train between shows as a way that I could share this music differently than I've ever done before. So I'll have the CD, physical CDs, if you still have a player, digital albums, if you don't still have a player. This song and at least one other will be on Spotify so that you will get a chance to hear kind of what the direction of the music is. There's songs that I usually play just acoustic guitar and sing. Maybe I loop, but on the recording, I've got drums and bass. And for this song, for example, you'll hear in the beginning, this mysterious sounding instrument. When I went into the studio and we did just the acoustic version, I had in mind that there would be an organ, like a church organ, spooky, ooky kind of sound. And somehow I kind of went, I want something that people can't even identify at first necessarily. And I wound up landing on the hand pan, which is this beautiful instrument. Sounds Asian, but it's actually derived from the Caribbean steel drums and was first designed in, I believe, Switzerland or someplace like that. Anyway, that sort of mysterious sound that you hear at the beginning of the recording, if you've checked it out on Spotify or on YouTube, you'll hear the recording as it is on the album. And then I had the idea for the introductory riff. Under that, the introductory part. And I thought I wanted to hear that on flute. And as Kismet and all good things would have it, I found a gentleman named Beo Bruckhausen here in Germany who plays the handpan and the flute. And when he sent me those tracks, he said, "Hey, Leah, what are you going to do over the bridge, that part where it goes, no pain, no pain, no pain?" I was like, well, I've got harmonies stacked there pretty thickly, and that's what I had in mind. He said, "Oh, well, let me send you this idea." And he marked it and sent it, and it said saxophones on it. I was like, nah, bro, we're not going to have saxophones on this song. It just does not fit. And then I listened to it, and that was just such a testimony. That contribution, several contributions from folks who had asked to try one thing or do one specific thing because I had this idea of what I wanted to hear. But then they were like, "Hey, check this out," and just elevated the music beyond what I could have done myself or even imagined before. And that reminds me, too, to thank my Patreons who always have my back. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate all the people who specifically backed this recording and one specific donor who generously just kicked off the possibility. That contribution alone set the foundation for this album and this project to become a reality. So thank you to all of you for your ongoing support and your anticipation with me of this album. So as I was saying, I thought a lot about what I could do that was different and would invite you to participate more in the music. So I've got sort of the somewhat typical consumer approach. I've got the recording, and then I've got an unplugged version, which is guitar, vocal, bass, and drums. So kind of like, the unplugged that MTV was doing back in the day, kind of similar to that. And then I've got a karaoke version, if you want to sing the songs in the shower or in church or, with just the backing without my lead vocal in it. Those are available. And I've got a house concert that's similar to what I'm doing now, but with less talking and more music that, introduces some of the songs. So those are if you just want to consume the music, enjoy the music, float into it. If, however, you are a musician, a songwriter, musically curious, these other elements might speak to you as well. And they are guitar tutorials. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what that will look like, but they offer you the opportunity to see how I play the song specifically. I take that apart. I do a simplified version for folks that's more appropriate to, and then once that's comfortable, or if you already have been playing for a while and feel more confident, I'll show you the more advanced style. And I'm a very rhythmic player. So you'll find that a lot of the magic, the ordinary magic, is in the right hand. So I've got the guitar tutorials. If you just want to do it your own way, I've also got a songbook, and I've got choral arrangements of a couple of the songs from this album, Ordinary Magic, a couple of spirituals that directly inspired songs on the album, and then 2 songs that were composed specifically for this project. And sort of, for me, the crowning glory, the thing that I would love to have for every album that I love from other artists, the stems. If you work with a DAW, if you're familiar with digital audio workstations and the joy and the fun of recording at home, the stems of a recording offer you the opportunity to hear how the producers, which was me, put together this album. So when I was thinking of Man of Wood, I knew we would have the drums. So you've got a drums track, and then we'd have the bass, and you've got the bass track, and you have the acoustic rhythm guitar. So you've got that track. Then there's my vocals. But then there are also backing vocals. And there's the flute riff that we talked about, and the handpan, and Bayo's saxophones. And that's pretty much everything that's on here, but you've got those all separated out. So if you want to silence the saxophones to hear what the bridge would have sounded like without them, you can do that. Or if you think the vocal would sound awesome with more reverb because it would be more haunting, you can do that. Or you can crank up the sound on the handpan, for example. You can do what you want in the quiet of your own home with these stems, just to play with the music, not to create a whole new thing, but to get your hands into the clay of how this recording was formed, just for you, just for your own listening, and you can share it with me. It's not meant to be shared out in the world, but I suspect somebody will ask me if they can remix it and share it, and I'll have to decide at that time. Anyway, so those are some of the ways that I invite you to participate in what I believe is the world's first immersive, interactive album. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm very happy to be corrected, but I'm also very, very proud of this project and excited to share it with you. So, without further ado, I promised a little bit of a guitar tutorial. And I'm going to show you the intro to this song. It's very straightforward. If you've been playing guitar a little bit, it's the E minor and D major chord. The only difference is, so E minor, you know, it's this one with the 2 fingers on the 2 second frets of the A and D string, and then D major open. And I've also got the high E string open, because that gives me the second in the chord, and it gives sort of this crunchy, warm feeling, rather than this. Yeah? So we're going from E minor to this D2 here. That's the intro and the start of the verse. Now what I'm playing rhythmically is down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And if it's in your wheelhouse, down, down, chicka. So with the final down, down, chicka. And it helps me if I verbalize it, down, down, chicka, down, 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 chicka, down, up, down, down, chicka. So, yeah, that's how I play the intro and the first part of the verse. And I'm going to loop it now, just show you. I've been playing a lot with the looper in the last couple of years, so I'm going to show you how I would set it up with the looper. I would either use vocal percussion, right, to lay the foundation. I'm working on this Boss RC600, definitely my favorite looper, and I've played with a few in the last couple of years. This is my favorite. So I'm also just picking up the Udu which is a wonderful instrument. So rather than the vocal percussion, I'm going to lay down the percussion with this. And then I'm going to play the flute part. I did not play the flute on the recording. That was Bayo, as I mentioned. But Bayo's not here in the room with me now, so I'm just going to play it myself. Here we go. So here we come with that E minor and D. Go to the A minor, and if you get the guitar tutorial, then I'll show you the rest of the song. But that's the basic structure of it, the basic rhythm. Am I remembering everything else I want to say to you now? Thank you so much for hanging out. If you have any questions or comments about the song, the album, Ordinary Magic, the project, or any of the elements of the project, please add them in the comments or write me directly. Hop over to my website. You can pre-order the album there and pre-order the all access package. Yeah, check out the song on Spotify if you like. I think that's everything I wanted to share. And I look forward to talking with you, seeing you, hearing from you soon. Take care.